of a woman named Addy, who woke up one morning, and when she woke, she thought to herself,
I wonder what it would be like if there were no black people in the world.
She pondered this for a moment and decided to see just how her day would go if she was the only black person there was. As she began her day, she went to her closet to find something to wear. She pulled out her favorite dress, but she realized it was wrinkled. As she went to get her ironing board, she realized the ironing board wasn't there. Sarah Boone, a black woman, invented the ironing board. Addy decided to just put on the dress as is. When she went to grab her shoes, she was surprised to see that they weren't there. J. E. Metzlinger, a black man, invented the shoe-lasting machine.
Oh well, I guess I'll go comb my hair.
As Addy went to grab her comb and brush, they too were missing. You see, Walter Salmons, a black man, invented the comb, and Lydia O. Newman, a black female, invented the brush. Without the hair care inventions of Madam C.J. Walker, Addy's hair looked dry, dull, unhealthy, and a mess. This was a sight to see. Addy laughed to herself as she looked in the mirror. No shoes, wrinkled clothes, and hair a mess. Time was wasting, so she decided to get some things done around the house and then do a little grocery shopping later. She began sweeping the kitchen floor. She swept and swept and swept and swept. When she reached for the dustpan, it wasn't there. Lloyd P. Ray, a black man, invented the dustpan. So, instead of leaving the dirt in the middle of the floor, she swept it over in the corner and left it there. Addy then decided to mop the floor, but the mop was gone as well. You see, Thomas W. Stewart, a black man, invented the mop. With the dirt in the corner and the floor mopped, Maddie moved on to the laundry. Once the clothes finished washing, she went to put them in the dryer, but quickly saw that it was not there. Why? Because George T. Salmon, a black man, invented the clothes dryer. Refusing to get frustrated, Addy decided to hang the clothes outside and then make her grocery list. As she sat at the table with a pencil and some paper, she noticed that the pencil lead was broken. Well, broken it remained because John Love, a black man, invented the pencil sharpener. A pen was also out of the question because William Purvis, a black man, invented the fountain pen. As a matter of fact, she couldn't type either because Lee Burgess invented the typewriting machine and A.W. Leavitt the printing press. Addy was truly outdone. She looked a mess, her housework was half done, and on top of that, she had to rely on her memory in order to grocery shop. As she walked out of her front door, she noticed that the grass was to her ankles. She said to herself,
Ooh, this grass needs cutting. Lawnmower.
As she went to get the lawnmower and set it out for her grandson to do later, she realized it wasn't there. You see, the lawnmower was invented by John Burr, a black man. Instead of focusing on the ugliness of the grass, Addy heads for her car. As she made it to the car and got inside, she made no progress because the car wouldn't go. Robert Spike, a black man, invented the automatic gear shift And Joseph Gamble invented the supercharged system for internal combustion engines.
All right.
As she looked around, she noticed that the few cars that were moving were running into each other and having wrecks because there were no traffic signals. You see, Garrett Morgan, a black man, invented the traffic light. Well, it was getting late, so Addy walked to the store, got her groceries, and returned home. Just when she was about to put away the milk, eggs, and butter, she noticed the refrigerator was gone. You see, John Standard, a black man, invented the refrigerator. So she said to herself,
I'm just going to leave that stuff on the counter.
By this time, the house was getting mighty cold. When Addy went to turn up the heat, it was not there. You see, Alice Parker, a black female, invented the heating furnace. If it had been summer, there would be no air because Frederick Jones, a black man, invented the air conditioner. As Addy looked at the clock, she realized that it was almost time for her husband to come home. He usually takes the bus, but there was no bus because its precursor was the electric trolley invented by another black man, Albert T. Robinson. He couldn't even take the elevator from his office on the 20th floor because there was no elevator. Because Alexander Miles, a black man, was the creator of the automatic opening and closing of elevator doors. He usually dropped off the office mail at a nearby mailbox, but it no longer was there because Philip Downing, a black man, invented the letter drop mailbox, and William Berry invented the postmarking and canceling machine. Addy sat at this kitchen table with her head in her hands. When her husband arrived, he asked, "Why are you sitting in the dark?" She replied,
Why?
"Because Lewis Howard Latimer, a black man, invented the filament within the light bulb." Not to mention, if her and her husband were ever sick and needed blood, Charles Drew, a black scientist, found a way to preserve and store blood, which led to his starting the world's first blood bank. And what if a family member had to have heart surgery? This would not have been possible without Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, a black doctor, who performed the first open heart surgery. Yes, Addy quickly learned what it would be like if there were no black people in the world. So if you ever wonder where we would be without black people,
You can plainly see we would really be in the dark.